Well, hello, everyone. I am Jonathan Byer,
And I am Dave Lees.
and welcome to TSL Visionaries. This is
Yes.
even my big new project for 2024, and we're really excited to share it with you. It's going to be a book club that will be happening both on YouTube and on Facebook. So you can join and subscribe on either of those platforms, and discussions will ensue. And our first book is going to be John Curry's Alone, which you can get through Audible and put in a code TSL Visionaries 20. I don't know what the 20 means. That's just what Audible gave us. Are you so excited, Dave?
I am so excited because I have a list of books that I don't know about you, but I buy books. I download things on Audible when I have my when I have my token, whatever you want to call it, for each month. And I sometimes don't get around to actually listening to everything that I have. And there are so many books that I have wanted to read. And I think what a great place to discuss it. And with someone that also has a similar interest. And I think that so many of our interests have really developed and overlapped over time. So I'm really excited to read about Broadway and opera. And like, I've thought about that book, Galina, that you have on
Yes,
your,
exactly. The Galina Vishnevskaya biography, yes.
but I've thought that you have that book like in your bedroom. I saw it, right? It was gigantic.
Yeah.
I wanted to read it. And at the same time, I would love to have someone that knows about opera that I can ask my beginner questions to as we're doing
In
this.
a total safe space. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I want to know more about George Balanchine and I want to know more about Fosse and I want to read those basketball coach books. And I thought, what a great place to do it with other similar minded people who also have a passion for Broadway and for ballet and for skating and theater and really do a mix of everything so that it's skating and so much more. And I
Yeah,
love
when
what.
Dave, well, when Dave and I first started talking about this, we were like, oh, does it become like a skating book club? But that can be so limiting because let's be honest, most of us have read all of them already. And there's so few, but so many of the concepts can like broaden. And there are other books from these other art forms that I think very much are adjacent to skating, are adjacent to classical music, that these things are really interesting. And we were talking about Andre Agassi's book, which I think is a phenomenal book for a high performance athlete, a performing artist, the average Joe that just likes all of that. And I think the conversations we will have with the people that subscribe will be from such varied fields that I think it will be really fun.
Yeah, and with the one thing that I really like about social media and creating these communities is that within these groups, obviously, like if you join on Facebook, you'll be on the Facebook subscription. You'll see the posts that go to the Facebook subscribers, and the same thing on YouTube. And as we read this book, I don't know about you, but I find myself looking up John Curry performances. I just finished the Barbara Streisand book. I was rewatching movies and clips of her. And I think what a great place that as we're all reading it, we can all share in these performances and comment and discover things that maybe we haven't seen and then
Right.
learn stuff from people in the group, right? Because people in the book club will also have a perspective and have an interest in different nuances of this, right? And there are so many people who enjoy skating or who enjoy Broadway and they have these other interests or these passions that they can then share with everyone. And I
Right.
thought that that could be such an enriching experience. And starting with John Curry, we know a lot of people who skated with John Curry.
Yeah.
And what an interesting avenue that is. Obviously, we were talking about Jojo Starbuck, and she skated Tango Tango with John Curry. She also went into his dressing room with a Bible to tell him he needed humility. And you know what? We need to talk a bit
Like
more
you
about
do. Yeah.
that. And she also revered him and loved him, and we discussed things in the book. And I wanted her perspective on if she thought the book was too harsh or the book was too lenient, and what did she think? And we discussed all of these little nuances. And I thought this would be a perfect forum for this. And there are so many details in this book. I can't wait to really dive into it with you. And it also talks really about the history and lineage of the fine art of figure skating and some of these huge brains that were influenced and developed by John Curry. But for everything, I mean, we could talk, there's a book about Nureyev I'm dying to read with you, and a book on
yeah.
Phil Jackson, and so many things. So I think it'll be such a fun experience. And I really hope that we all read books that maybe we wouldn't have normally read. They are books that are adjacent to our interests, but maybe not right in our interests, and it expands. And I think it can only make us all richer people and more intellectual and
for instance, because you had mentioned the Andre Agassi biography to me, and who would have thought I would have been reading a tennis memoir that way? And then as I was reading it, I was like, every single opera singer needs to read this book. And who would have thought? And I think this is exactly that kind of group that will be sort of pushing us into some literature we would not have considered before, but our minds will be blown to sort of see how much it ties in.
Yeah, I read a book about CAA and how they package film with actors and stuff, and it just made me think differently about what I'm consuming. And I think that there's so much, the Andre Agassi book, I believe, was written by a co-author or ghost author who also worked on a book about Tiger Woods that's also exceptional. So there are so many things, and we, through the power of Zoom, can have viewing parties for supplemental documentaries or movie nights for different things, or we can watch some of those John Curry performances all together and have a different perspective and appreciation for it. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited.
I'm very excited, especially at the idea of just sort of taking it that extra step. Same thing when I was reading the second Mark with you. I would like read a chapter and then I'd be like, okay, I have to hold. And then I would YouTube 100 things. And so this is a nice way to sort of curate all of that in one experience.
Yeah, and that's not to say that we're not going to do skating books. We absolutely will do skating books. It's going to be skating and we also will do the second Mark and things like that. Those are books that maybe some people have read, some people haven't. I think it will be fun to go back and reread some of those books. And the great thing is that with YouTube and things, some old broadcasts are popping up. So in Inside Edge, there's a chapter about Tara, and it talked about when Primetime Live filmed her. And then that Primetime Live popped up on YouTube a couple months ago, which
okay, great. Okay.
are cool to watch. So I think in so many instances, we're going to have so much fun going into the archives and finding really obscure things to discuss and enjoy. So yeah, we can't wait. And the book is open now. We started posting our clips of John Curry, and we will be doing more of that. Especially, we're trying to figure out how much time people need to read a book and how we should divide it. If you want to do the John Curry book in half, like, do you want to separate it from his amateur career and then his professional career so we can have discussions? Do you want it one discussion? We're figuring that out, and I think as we go along, we'll really fine tune the ways that work best for the community.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. And you don't have to leave your house. It's not like you have to do a neighborhood book club.
And also, people were messaging me, I don't know if I can keep up. Do I have to read all the books? Can I join at any time? The answer is, it is fun. You want to read the book. You want to watch the discussion and not read it. No one is giving you an exam.
Yeah, because again, like we're saying, the discussions will encompass like the subjects that are motivated by the book. It's not a book report or a test or something. I think for many of us, it like harkens back to sort of like having to do a book report and not having read the book. But I think like even with this like John Curry stuff, as we will be discussing parts that are in the book, again, we will also be viewing the clips. We will be also talking about all these other elements as well. So.
Well, I can't wait. I'm excited to delve into this with you and wanted to give everyone time now so that if you have time to listen to John Curry alone over the holidays, that this is a great way that you can
be artistic over your holiday break. Yeah.
As you're looking at Jonathan's ornaments on the Christmas tree.
That's right. They're vaguely being reflected in this right now.
I feel like we need ending to US, remember this. Join us, won't you? Right? Won't you?
Yes, yes. And I think you should. I think you should. Thanks, everybody.